The story of the USS Hornet, CV-7, is one of extraordinary bravery and relentless determination. What you are about to see is real, unedited footage capturing life aboard this iconic carrier during some of its most defining moments. From the perilous challenges of daily operations to its pivotal role in the daring Doolittle Raid, the Hornet stands as a testament to the resilience and sacrifice of its crew. These raw images reveal the stark reality of war at sea, where triumph and tragedy often collided on the narrow confines of the flight deck. Commissioned in October 1941, the USS Hornet was a Yorktown-class aircraft carrier, designed to project American air power across vast oceans. Its flight deck, spanning 814 feet, was a hive of constant activity, a precarious stage where naval aviators and deck crews performed a dangerous dance of precision and endurance. Below deck, the ship was a city of machinery and humanity, housing the crew of over 2,000 men who worked tirelessly to keep the carrier operational. The Hornet carried a mix of Grumman F-4F Wildcats, Douglas SBD Dauntless dive bombers, and TBD Devastator torpedo planes, each aircraft representing the cutting edge of wartime aviation technology. Operating planes from a carrier was one of the most hazardous tasks of the war. Pilots had to contend with shifting winds, the rolling motion of the ship, and a landing strip that seemed impossibly short. Each takeoff and landing was a gamble, where a single miscalculation could result in a fiery crash or a plane plunging into the ocean. The deck crews, working under constant pressure, faced equally dire risks. Handling volatile aviation fuel, live munitions, and damaged planes on a crowded flight deck turned every moment into a life-or-death challenge. This chaos was compounded by the ever-present threat of Japanese attack. The Pacific was a battleground where submarines and enemy aircraft hunted carriers like the Hornet. Anti-aircraft gunners manned their stations day and night, scanning the skies for dive bombers and torpedo planes. The roar of the ship's 20mm Oerlikon cannons and 5-inch dual-purpose guns often punctuated the relentless drone of engines, reminding the crew that safety was a fleeting illusion. Despite these challenges, the Hornet etched its name into history on April 18, 1942, during the Doolittle Raid. As part of a bold plan to strike the Japanese homeland, 16 B-25 Mitchell bombers were loaded onto the carrier's deck, an unprecedented feat for a ship designed for smaller aircraft. These bombers, stripped down to reduce weight and loaded with bombs for their mission, dominated the flight deck, leaving no room for error. The mission was audacious and fraught with risk. To launch the bombers, the Hornet had to approach within striking distance of Japanese patrols, escorted by a protective screen of destroyers and cruisers. On that fateful morning, as the ship powered through rough seas, the bombers roared down the deck one by one, barely lifting off before the flight deck ended. The sight of these lumbering planes taking to the skies was both awe-inspiring and heartbreaking. Each crew knew they could not return to the carrier and faced an uncertain fate in China after their bombing runs. The Doolittle Raid was a tactical success in demonstrating the reach of American air power and a psychological blow to the Japanese. But its cost was high. Many of the aircrews were captured or killed, and the mission's daring nature underscored the brutal stakes of the Pacific War. Even as the Hornet basked in the glory of the Doolittle Raid, its journey was far from over. The carrier played a critical role in the Battle of Midway, where its air group helped sink 4 Japanese carriers in a decisive victory. Yet, every mission took a toll. Planes skidded off the deck, flames erupted during refueling operations, and the crew faced the relentless grind of maintaining the ship and its aircraft in the harsh conditions of the Pacific. The end for the Hornet came on October 26, 1942, during the Battle of the Santa Cruz Islands. Hit by multiple bombs and torpedoes from Japanese aircraft, the carrier was left heavily damaged and engulfed in flames. Despite the crew's heroic efforts to save her, the order to abandon ship was given. The Hornet was later scuttled by American destroyers to prevent her capture, sinking into the depths of the Pacific. What remains is the legacy of a ship that embodied the spirit of its crew. a vessel that carried the fight across vast oceans and stood as a beacon of hope during one of humanity's darkest times. The footage you are about to watch captures the raw intensity of life aboard the Hornet, the precise ballet of deck operations, the chaos of crashes, and the triumph of daring missions like the Doolittle Raid. This is more than history. It is a testament to the human spirit, resilience, and sacrifice. These unfiltered images remind us of the cost of freedom and the courage of those who fought to secure it. The USS Hornet was more than steel and machinery. It was a living symbol of determination in the face of overwhelming odds. As you watch, remember that these moments are real, unedited, and a window into the sacrifices that shape the world we live in today.